Annette Kunz was a woman who had known hardship for most of her life. Born into a family with little means, she learned early on the value of hard work and perseverance. She had dreams once, big dreams of traveling the world and experiencing the wonders it had to offer. But those dreams had been put on hold, or perhaps buried, under the weight of her responsibilities. She had met her husband, Micah Ross, at a local diner where she worked as a waitress. Micah was a charming man, full of promises and ambitions. He swept Annette off her feet, and soon they were married. Life moved quickly for them, and they had 7 children in as many years. Annette loved her children deeply, but the strains of raising a large family were beginning to show. Micah, once a jovial and loving husband and father, had changed over the years. The burden of providing for such a large family seemed to weigh heavily on him. He became distant, spending more and more time away from home, leaving Annette to manage their brood alone. Then, one fateful morning, Micah didn't return from his usual errands. Annette waited anxiously, her heart heavy with worry. Days turned into weeks, and still there was no sign of him. Annette had no choice but to carry on, doing her best to provide for her children without him. As the months passed, Annette struggled to make ends meet. Their modest home was filled with the laughter and cries of her children, but it was also filled with the echoes of Micah's absence. Annette clung to the one piece of him that remained, the gold wedding ring he had left behind. One day, while cleaning the house, she discovered an old box of his belongings tucked away in a closet. Amongst the forgotten items was the wedding ring, a symbol of the love they had once shared. Annette hesitated for a moment, her fingers tracing the engraving inside. Then, with a determined look in her eyes, she decided it was time to part with it. Annette had heard of Jonathan Dukes, the owner of a reputable pawnshop in town. He was known for his fairness and honesty, and she believed he would give her a fair price for the ring. With a heavy heart, she bundled up the children and made her way to Duke's pawnshop on a chilly winter morning. The bell above the door jingled as she entered the dimly lit shop. Shelves were lined with all sorts of items, each with a story of its own. Annette approached the counter where Jonathan Dukes himself stood, examining a piece of fine china. Jonathan Dukes, a middle-aged man with graying hair and a warm smile, looked up as Annette approached. He gently set down the china and regarded her with kind eyes. "Good morning, ma'am," he said. "How can I assist you today?" Annette took a deep breath, her palms sweating as she clutched the small box containing the ring. She knew this was the right thing to do, but it still felt like letting go of a piece of her husband. "I'd like to pawn this ring," she said softly. Jonathan nodded and reached out for the box. He carefully opened it and examined the ring, turning it in the light. It was a simple gold band with their initials and wedding date engraved inside. Then he asked the dreaded question that Annette had been dreading. "May I ask why you're pawning this ring?" Annette hesitated, her eyes welling up with tears. She took a moment to compose herself before speaking. "My husband, Micah, he disappeared several months ago. I have 7 children to care for, and life has become incredibly difficult without him. I hoped that by pawning this ring I could provide for them a bit better." Jonathan listened attentively, his expression sympathetic. He had heard many stories over the years, tales of desperation and hardship, but something about Annette's story touched his heart. Jonathan looked at Annette with compassion. He knew that he had a choice to make. He could offer her a fair price for the ring, which was his usual business practice, or he could do something more, something that might make a real difference in her life and the lives of her children. After a brief moment of contemplation, he made up his mind. "I can see that this ring means a lot to you, and your situation is not an easy one. How about this, ma'am? Instead of pawning it, I'll make you a loan against the ring. You can pay it back over time, and when you're ready, you can have the ring back." Annette's eyes widened in surprise. She had expected a fair deal, but Jonathan's offer was beyond her wildest expectations. She felt a lump in her throat as she tried to find the words to express her gratitude. "Sir, I don't know what to say," she stammered. "Thank you from the bottom of my heart. This means the world to me and my children." Jonathan smiled kindly. "It's the least I can do to help a fellow human in need. Let's work out the details of the loan, shall we?" Annette and Jonathan sat down at the small desk in the corner of the pawnshop. He carefully explained the terms of the loan, which were more than fair. Annette would have ample time to repay the loan without the worry of exorbitant interest rates. As they finalized the agreement, Annette couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope. It was a small step, but it was a step forward nonetheless. With Jonathan's help, she could provide a better life for her children. With the loan agreement signed, Annette left the pawnshop with a sense of relief she hadn't felt in months. She clutched the small slip of paper that represented her newfound hope, tears of gratitude in her eyes. As she walked back home with her children, she couldn't help but think that sometimes kindness could be found in the most unexpected places. Jonathan Dukes had not only given her a lifeline, but had also restored her faith in humanity. Back at their modest home, Annette's eldest daughter, Jennifer, watched her mother closely. She had seen the worry and exhaustion in her mother's eyes for months now, and she had her suspicions about the trip to the pawnshop. "Mom," Jennifer said softly, taking Annette aside, "is everything okay? You looked so relieved when you came out of there, but I can tell there's more to the story." A mother's confession. Annette hesitated for a moment, her heart heavy with the truth she needed to share. She had always tried to shield her children from the harsh realities of their situation, but Jennifer was growing up and deserved to know. She took a deep breath and looked into her daughter's concerned eyes. "Jennifer, I went to the pawnshop to pawn your father's wedding ring. Things have been so difficult since he disappeared, and I thought it was the only way to make ends meet." Jennifer's eyes welled up with tears as she listened to her mother's confession. She reached out and hugged Annette tightly. "Mom, I understand. You did what you had to do to take care of us. We're a family and we'll get through this together." Annette was touched by her daughter's understanding and maturity. She had always known that her children were resilient, but Jennifer's words reaffirmed her belief that they would weather this storm as a family. Over the following months, the Kunz family faced their challenges with newfound determination. Annette worked tirelessly to repay the loan to Jonathan Dukes, all the while teaching her children the importance of resilience and unity. Jennifer and her siblings pitched in, helping with household chores and looking out for one another. Their bond as a family grew stronger with each passing day, and they found solace in their togetherness. One sunny afternoon, as Annette was preparing lunch for her children, there was a knock at the door. She wiped her hands on her apron and went to answer it, wondering who could be visiting. To her shock and disbelief, standing on the doorstep was Micah Ross, her long-lost husband. His appearance was disheveled, and he looked worn and tired, but he was undeniably alive. Annette's heart raced as she took in the sight of Micah. It had been so long since she had seen him, and the emotions of his sudden return overwhelmed her. She threw her arms around him, tears streaming down her face. "Micah, where have you been? We've been so worried," she exclaimed. Micah's eyes were filled with regret as he held her close. "I'm so sorry, Annette. I can't explain it all right now, but I promise I'll tell you everything. I missed you and the children so much." Annette led Micah into the house, where their children were gathered. There were tears, hugs, and joyful cries as the family was reunited. The children, who had grown up without their father, were initially cautious but quickly warmed to his presence. As they sat around the table for a long-awaited family meal, Annette couldn't help but feel a sense of completeness she hadn't experienced in months. It was as if a missing piece of their family had been restored. Over dinner, Micah finally began to share his story. He explained that he had taken a job out of town to try and provide a better life for his family. But the job had taken him farther away than he had anticipated, and he had been unable to return due to a series of unfortunate events. He spoke of the hardships he had endured, the longing he had felt for his family, and the determination that had kept him going. It was a story of struggle and survival, and Annette couldn't help but empathize with him. As Micah spoke, his children listened with a mixture of emotions: anger, hurt, but also understanding. They had missed their father terribly, but they also knew that life had been difficult for him. In the end, forgiveness prevailed over resentment. Annette, Jennifer, and the rest of the children chose to focus on the fact that their family was finally whole again. They had all endured their share of hardships and had come out stronger for it. In the weeks that followed, Micah worked hard to rebuild his relationship with his family. He had indeed changed during his time away, and he was determined to be the husband and father that Annette and his children deserved. He found work closer to home, allowing him to be present in their lives once more. He took an active role in parenting, spending quality time with each of his children and making up for lost moments. One day, Jonathan Dukes decided to pay a visit to the Kunz family. He had been following their story with interest, and he wanted to check in on them to see how they were doing. As he arrived at their home, he was greeted by the sight of a bustling and happy family. Annette, Micah, and the children were in the yard, playing games and laughing together. Jonathan approached the family, and Annette recognized him immediately. She introduced him to Micah and the children, explaining how he had helped them in their time of need. Micah extended a hand to Jonathan, gratitude in his eyes. "I can't thank you enough for what you did for my family, Mr. Dukes. You saved us during our darkest hour." Jonathan smiled warmly and shook Micah's hand. "It was my pleasure, Micah. Your family's strength and resilience are an inspiration to us all." Life for the Kunz family was far from easy, but it was filled with love, unity, and hope. They had weathered a storm that had threatened to tear them apart and had emerged stronger than ever. Micah and Annette worked side by side to provide for their children, and the children themselves grew into responsible, compassionate individuals. Their story was a testament to the power of family bonds and the kindness of strangers. The wedding ring that had once symbolized Annette and Micah's love now held a different meaning for them. It was a reminder of the hardships they had faced and the strength of their family. They decided to keep the ring not as a piece of jewelry, but as a symbol of their enduring love and the challenges they had overcome together. It served as a reminder that they could face any obstacle as long as they were united. Annette's dreams of traveling the world had been put on hold for many years, but they were not forgotten. With their family reunited and the support of Jonathan Dukes, she dared to dream again. She began to set aside a small portion of their income, slowly saving up for the adventure she had always longed for. It was a dream that she shared with her children, and together they looked forward to the day when they could explore the world beyond their small town. Jennifer, the eldest of the Kunz children, had always been a bright and ambitious young woman. Inspired by her mother's determination, she set her sights on a college education, aspiring to become a teacher. With hard work and the support of her family, Jennifer excelled in her studies. She applied for scholarships and grants, determined to make her dream a reality. Her journey was a source of pride and hope for the entire family. The Kunz family's story of resilience and unity had not gone unnoticed by their community. Neighbors and friends rallied around them, offering support in various forms. They organized fundraisers to help with Jennifer's college expenses, provided meals during tough times, and even offered babysitting services to give Annette and Micah some much-needed time to themselves. The Kunz family had become a symbol of the strength that could be found in a close-knit community, a community's gratitude. One sunny afternoon, the community organized a surprise gathering in honor of the Kunz family. It was a celebration of their strength and determination, a way to express gratitude for the inspiration they had provided to others. Annette, Micah, and their children were overwhelmed by the outpouring of support and love. It was a day filled with laughter, music, and heartfelt speeches, a reminder that they were not alone in their journey. Part 29. The Kunz family's story serves as a testament to the power of love, resilience, and the kindness of strangers. It is a reminder that even in the face of hardship, families can come together, support one another, and emerge stronger than ever. As they looked back on their journey, they knew that life would always have its challenges, but they also knew that they could face anything as long as they were united. The wedding ring that had once symbolized their love now symbolized their unbreakable bond as a family. And so, with hope in their hearts and dreams on the horizon, the Kunz family continued their journey through life, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, hand in hand as a family. As the days turned into weeks and then into months, Annette found herself reflecting on the whirlwind of events that had brought her family back together. She often sat in the quiet moments, watching her children play and listening to their laughter fill the house. Annette couldn't help but feel a deep sense of gratitude for the twists and turns their lives had taken. It had been a long and arduous journey, but it had also been a journey of self-discovery and growth for each member of the family. Micah, too, spent many hours reflecting on his past mistakes. His time away had given him a new perspective on what truly mattered in life, and he was determined to make amends for the pain he had caused his family. He became a loving and involved father, cherishing every moment he spent with his children. He worked tirelessly to provide for them and to show them the love and support they had always deserved. Jennifer's journey to college was a source of pride, not only for her, but for the entire family. With the support of scholarships and the community's generosity, she had achieved her dream of becoming a college student. Her first day on campus was a momentous occasion marked by tears of joy and hugs from her siblings. Annette and Micah watched her with a mixture of pride and nostalgia, knowing that their eldest daughter was embarking on a bright future. With Jennifer away at college, Annette found herself with more time to pursue her own dreams. She had saved diligently, and now the prospect of traveling the world once again beckoned to her. She began to research destinations and plan out their family's adventures. Annette knew that they might not be able to embark on their journey immediately, but she was determined to make her dream a reality one step at a time. One day, as Annette was cleaning the attic, she stumbled upon an old box tucked away in a dusty corner. Curiosity piqued. She opened it to find a treasure trove of letters and photographs from her youth. Among the faded letters was a postcard from her grandmother, June Cook, who had always encouraged her to follow her dreams. The postcard read, "Never forget the world is your oyster, my dear. Explore it with an open heart." Annette couldn't help but smile as she read her grandmother's words. Jean had been a source of wisdom and inspiration in her life, and her postcard was a reminder of the dreams she had once held dear. She decided to share the postcard with her children, gathering them around to tell them stories of their grandmother's adventurous spirit and the lessons she had imparted. Inspired by the memory of her grandmother and the dreams she had once held, the Kunz family made a collective decision. They would start small but embark on adventures of their own, exploring the wonders of their own region before venturing farther afield. It was a decision filled with excitement and anticipation, and the children couldn't wait to begin their own journey of discovery. The Kunz family's first adventure took them to nearby hiking trails and scenic spots. They explored forests, climbed mountains, and marveled at the beauty of nature. Each outing was a chance for them to bond as a family and create lasting memories. As they hiked along a rugged trail one sunny day, Jennifer couldn't help but think of her mother's dream of traveling the world. She turned to Annette and said, "Mom, we may not be able to see the whole world right now, but we can certainly explore our own corner of it together." Annette smiled at her daughter's words, touched by the wisdom beyond her years. She realized that their family's journey had not only brought them closer together, but had also given them a newfound appreciation for the simple joys of life. With each passing day, Annette felt a profound sense of gratitude for the love and support of her family, the kindness of their community, and the unexpected friendship of Jonathan Dukes, whose generosity had been a lifeline in their time of need. The wedding ring that had once been destined for a pawnshop had instead become a symbol of the Kunz family's strength and resilience. It was a reminder that they could face any challenge as long as they were united. Annette often wore the ring proudly, not as a piece of jewelry, but as a testament to the love and commitment that had carried her through the toughest of times. It was a symbol of the unwavering bond between her and Micah and the unbreakable ties that held their family together. The Kunz family's adventures continued, and their love for exploring the world around them deepened. They discovered hidden gems in their own community and forged new friendships with neighbors who shared their passion for discovery. Their community continued to stand by them, offering support and encouragement as they pursued their dreams. It was a testament to the enduring bonds of friendship and the power of unity within a close-knit community. Annette knew that life was filled with ups and downs, but she had come to realize that it was the love of family and the support of a caring community that truly mattered. She hoped to pass on these values to her children, instilling in them the importance of kindness, resilience, and the pursuit of dreams. She had once put her own dreams on hold for the sake of her family, but now she understood that her dreams could coexist with their journey. Annette looked forward to the adventures that lay ahead and the lessons they would learn together as a family. And so the Kunz family's story continues, filled with love, unity, and the promise of new adventures. As they explore the world around them and face the challenges of life together, they carry with them the legacy of their past, a legacy of strength, resilience, and the enduring power of family bonds. As the seasons changed and the years passed, the Kunz family continued their tradition of exploration and discovery. Each new adventure brought them closer as a family and enriched their lives in ways they had never imagined. Annette watched her children grow and flourish, each one following their own dreams and passions. Jennifer had successfully graduated from college and become a dedicated teacher, just as she had always aspired to be. Annette couldn't help but swell with pride at her daughter's accomplishments. With Jennifer's stable job and the family's careful budgeting, they began to plan for more extensive adventures. Annette had always dreamed of traveling the world, and the time had come to turn that dream into a reality. The family spent evenings huddled around a world map, plotting out potential destinations and dreaming of the cultures, landscapes, and experiences they would encounter. It was a thrilling time filled with anticipation and wonder. Part 45, The Decision to Travel. After months of research and discussion, the Kunz family made a monumental decision. They would embark on a year-long journey around the world. It was an ambitious plan, but they were determined to make it happen. They sold some of their belongings to fund their adventure and made arrangements for their children's education during their travels. It was a leap of faith, but they believed in the power of exploration and the educational value of experiencing different cultures firsthand. The day of departure arrived, and the Kunz family gathered at the airport with their backpacks and a world of excitement in their hearts. Annette and Micah looked at each other, their eyes filled with a mixture of anticipation and gratitude. "We're doing it," Micah whispered to Annette. "We're living our dream." Annette nodded, her heart full. "And we're doing it together as a family." Part 47, Exploring the World. Over the course of the year, the Kunz family explored the world with open hearts and curious minds. They wandered through bustling markets in Marrakech, marveled at the ancient wonders of Rome, and trekked through lush rainforests in Costa Rica. Every new destination brought its own set of challenges and surprises, but the family faced them head-on, growing stronger and more resilient with each experience. They learned new languages, tried exotic foods, and forged connections with people from diverse backgrounds. Annette watched her children embrace the world with a sense of wonder and adaptability that filled her with pride. They were not tourists, but travelers, seeking to understand and connect with the places they visited. She saw Jennifer's passion for teaching come alive as she volunteered at local schools in different countries, sharing her knowledge and learning from her students. It was a testament to the power of education and the impact one person could have on the lives of others. Throughout their travels, Annette continued to wear the wedding ring that had once been destined for a pawnshop. It had become a symbol not only of her love for Micah, but of the enduring strength and unity of their family. The ring had now traveled to far-flung corners of the world, witnessing the family's adventures and serving as a reminder of the challenges they had overcome together. It had become a cherished heirloom, a symbol of their shared journey. As the year of exploration came to a close, the Kunz family returned home with hearts full of memories and a newfound appreciation for the world's diversity. Their journey had broadened their horizons, deepened their bonds, and given them a wealth of stories to share. Their community, which had supported them on their journey, welcomed them back with open arms. The Kunz family had inspired others to pursue their own dreams, showing that with determination and unity, anything was possible. Back in their familiar surroundings, the Kunz family continued to explore the world, albeit on a smaller scale. They ventured on weekend getaways, explored nearby towns, and continued to savor the beauty of their own region. Annette and Micah knew that their larger journey had been a transformative experience, but they also recognized that exploration could be a way of life, no matter the scale. Their children had learned valuable lessons about resilience, adaptability, and the beauty of diversity, lessons that would stay with them throughout their lives. Annette and Micah never forgot the dreams they had once put on hold, and they continued to plan for new adventures. They knew that their family's journey was far from over, and that the world was full of wonders waiting to be discovered. The ring on Annette's finger served as a constant reminder of their journey, a symbol of their enduring love and the challenges they had overcome together. It was a cherished keepsake, passed down through the generations, a testament to the power of family bonds and the pursuit of dreams. Part 53. And so the Kunz family's story continues, filled with love, unity, and the promise of new adventures. As they explore the world around them and face the challenges of life together, they carry with them the legacy of their past, a legacy of strength, resilience, and the enduring power of family bonds. Part 54. An unexpected call. Life continued for the Kunz family, and the years passed swiftly. The children grew into young adults, each forging their own path in life. Jennifer had become a successful teacher, while the other children pursued their own dreams and ambitions. One ordinary evening, as the family gathered for dinner, the phone rang, breaking the usual calm of their home. Annette answered, her heart racing, as she heard a voice she hadn't expected to hear in years. "Annette, it's Jonathan Dukes," the voice on the other end of the line said. Annette's hands trembled as she held the receiver. She had not heard from Jonathan since they had embarked on their year-long journey around the world. She had often thought of him and the pivotal role he had played in their lives, but their paths had not crossed since their return. "Mr. Dukes, it's wonderful to hear from you," Annette replied, her voice filled with warmth and surprise. Jonathan continued, "I've been following your family's adventures and successes from afar, and I couldn't help but reach out. I have something important to discuss with you." A generous offer. Jonathan explained that he had recently decided to retire and was looking to pass on his pawnshop business to someone he trusted. He had seen how Annette and Micah had transformed their lives and the lives of their children and believed that they were the perfect candidates to take over. "I want the pawnshop to continue serving our community with honesty and compassion," Jonathan said. "I can think of no one better suited than your family." Annette and Micah were taken aback by Jonathan's offer. They had never imagined running a pawnshop, but the idea of continuing the legacy of honesty and compassion that Jonathan had built was appealing. The family gathered to discuss the offer, weighing the pros and cons. They knew that it would be a significant undertaking, but they also believed in the importance of giving back to their community. After much deliberation, they made a unanimous decision. With the family's decision made, they embarked on a new chapter in their lives. They spent months learning the ins and outs of the pawnshop business from Jonathan, who was patient and thorough in his teachings. It was a period of adjustment for the family, but they approached it with the same determination and unity that had carried them through their previous challenges. They were committed to upholding the values of honesty and compassion that had defined Jonathan's legacy. Part 59, A Community's Trust. As the Kunz family settled into their new roles as pawnshop owners, they found that their community was quick to embrace the transition. Their reputation for integrity and fairness grew, and the shop became a trusted place for the community to buy and sell items. Annette and Micah made it a point to get to know their customers personally, listening to their stories and understanding their needs. The pawn shop was no longer just a business, it was a place where people felt heard and valued. The Kunz family's involvement in the pawn shop business deepened their connection with their community. They continued to organize events and fundraisers, using the shop as a hub for charitable activities. Their children, now young adults, actively participated in these endeavors, inspired by their parents' dedication to making a positive impact on the lives of others. The pawn shop had become a place where not only material goods, but also goodwill and support were exchanged. One day, while going through some of the items in the shop, Annette stumbled upon a dusty old journal tucked away in a box. It had been left behind by a previous owner of the shop, dating back many decades. As she opened the journal and began to read its pages, she discovered that it contained not only records of pawned items, but also heartfelt stories and messages from customers over the years. It was a treasure trove of human connection and shared experiences. Annette decided to share the journal's contents with her family. Together, they read aloud the stories of hope, desperation, and resilience that had been shared by the pawnshop's customers over the years. The journal became a source of inspiration for the Kunz family, a reminder of the profound impact their business could have on the lives of others. It reinforced their commitment to treating each customer with empathy and respect, knowing that every item brought in held a story. As Annette continued to read through the journal, she came across an entry that caught her eye, a story of a wedding ring that had once been pawned by a struggling couple. The ring's inscription matched the one on Micah's wedding ring. Annette couldn't believe the coincidence. She shared the entry with her family, and together they realized that the ring in the journal had once belonged to Micah and had been pawned during the difficult period of his absence. Part 64, A Reunion with the Past. Annette decided to investigate further and discovered that the ring from the journal was still in the shop's inventory. It had never been sold, as the couple who had pawned it had eventually come back to reclaim it. With a sense of nostalgia and a desire to close the circle, Annette retrieved the ring from the shop's safe. It was a momentous occasion when she handed the ring to Micah, who had once thought it lost forever. The returned wedding ring served as a powerful symbol of the Kunz family's journey. It had witnessed their trials and triumphs, their separation and reunion, and now it was a tangible reminder of the resilience and unity that had defined their family. Micah placed the ring back on his finger, tears in his eyes. It was a symbol not only of his love for Annette, but also of their enduring commitment to facing life's challenges together. Part 66, A Mother's Reflection. Annette couldn't help but reflect on the twists and turns of their family's story. From the brink of despair to the heights of success, they had experienced it all. The ring, once destined for a pawnshop, had been a witness to their remarkable journey. She realized that life was full of surprises and that sometimes the most unexpected events could lead to the most profound transformations. The Kunz family's legacy was not just about a pawnshop. It was about the power of love, resilience, and the enduring bonds of family. As the years passed, the Kunz family continued to run the pawn shop with the same dedication and integrity that Jonathan Dukes had instilled in them. They knew that they were not just stewards of a business, but keepers of a tradition of kindness and compassion. Their community continued to trust and rely on them, and the pawn shop remained a place where people could find support in times of need. The legacy of Jonathan Dukes lived on, carried forward by a family that understood the value of helping others. Annette's dream of traveling the world had not been forgotten, and as the years went by, the family began to plan for another adventure. They decided to embark on a journey that would take them to new continents, allowing them to explore the beauty and diversity of the world once again. Annette, Micah, and their children eagerly anticipated the new adventures that awaited them. They knew that their journey would be different this time, but they also knew that the bonds of love and unity that had carried them through their past challenges would guide them on their future adventures. And so the Kunz family's story continues, filled with love, unity, and the promise of new adventures. As they run the pawn shop, explore the world, and face the challenges of life together, they carry with them the legacy of their past, a legacy of strength, resilience, and the enduring power of family bonds.